Welcome to the Statements Controlling the Flow of Program module. In this module, you will learn how to check the control flow of any program. You will also learn about the important control flow statements. At the end of this module, you will be able to explain the concept of Boolean values in Python, identify conditional statements in Python, and apply loops and iterative Python functions. In computer programming, control flow is the order or sequence in which the instructions, function calls and statements are executed. It determines what section of code must run at a given time. Normally, the statements inside the source code of a program are executed in a top-down approach. Sometimes, depending on the need of the program, control flow statements break the flow of the statement by including decision-making, looping, and branching statements, which makes the program go from one block to another. Control flow is an essential part in any program as it provides an entry and exit gate to the program. A Boolean expression is defined as an expression that returns either true or false. There are many functions in Python which return Boolean functions. These are shown on the screen. You can use the not keyword to inverse either of the Boolean expression types. Decision-making in a program is defined as the requirement of condition solving. It is done when you need to fulfill a specific condition to execute a block of code successfully. There are three important decision-making statements in Python, as shown on the screen. The if statement is used to check a condition in the program. If the given condition is true, then only the if block is executed. Otherwise, the execution proceeds to the next block of code. The if-else statement contains the else block, which is executed when the given condition is false. The elif statement in Python works like the else statement and is used to check multiple statements for a true condition. If any of the statements is true, it executes the block of code. Unlike else, there can be any number of elif statements following an if. When the compiler first checks if the condition of if block is true or not. If it's not true, it checks the next elif statement. If the conditions of all the elif statements are false, then the else block is executed. This program illustrates an example of using an if-elif-else statement. Sometimes you need to run a specific block of code many times. This task is done with the help of loop statements. Some of the looping functions in Python are shown on the screen. In Python, the for loop functions in a different way than in C and C++. In Python, for loop iterates over a given sequence of items, such as lists, strings, tuples, keys of dictionaries and other iterables. In the syntax for loop, sequence contains an expression list which is evaluated first. Each item in the sequence is assigned to the iterating variable, after which the statement block is executed. This process is continued until the whole sequence is exhausted. To iterate a for loop over a sequence of numbers, you can use the range and xrange functions. The syntax for the range function is shown on the screen. The while loop in Python is used to iterate over a block of code only when the test expression is true. The while loop is used when it is difficult to anticipate the number of times the loop needs to be executed. In the syntax for while loop, the test expression of the while loop is checked first. The body of the loop is entered only when the test expression returns true. After one iteration, the condition of test expression is checked again. This terminates only when the while loop returns false. Unlike C, Python supports the use of else statement with for and while loop. When the else statement is used with a for loop, the execution of else block occurs after the loop iterates the list completely and terminates it. Whereas, when the else statement is used with a while loop, the else statement gets executed when the condition becomes false. Loops iterate over a block of code until test expression is false, but sometimes you might want to terminate the current iteration, or even the whole loop without checking the test expression. The break and continue statements are used in these cases. The flowcharts on the screen show the functionality of break and continue statements. The break statement terminates the loop containing it. Control of the program flows to the statement immediately after the body of the loop. If break statement is inside a nested loop, it will terminate the innermost loop. The continue statement is used to skip the rest of the code inside a loop only for the current iteration. Loop does not terminate, but continues with the next iteration. A pass statement is a null operation in pointer, which does not perform any operation and does not produce any result when it is executed. Pass statement is used when a statement is required syntactically, but execution of any code or command is undesirable. In this program, the pass statement is used, which does not execute anything. This program uses the letters of the word Python, and if the letter is equal to O, a statement is printed which states this is pass block, and the current letter being read by the compiler is printed. The summary of the module on implementing operators in Python has been put on the screen. I will pause for a few seconds to allow you to read it. In the next module, you will learn about strings in Python. Thanks for watching Statements Controlling the